In the fight to be the best hero in Lord of the Rings the card game, Haldir is the unequivocal champion, but a new hero wishes to be the Lord of the Ring. Aristor has entered the game. Is he better than Haldir? Let's look at what Haldir can do. Haldir can snipe snipers. Haldir can destroy trolls. Haldir can kill things that are already dead. Haldir can hit Bill Ferny in the face. Haldir can smash spiders. Haldir can kill elites that come out in the staging area and try to kill you. Haldir can sink ships. Haldir honors old allegiances. Haldir can pronounce difficult words.
Scalathon.
Haldir can solve complicated mathematical equations. Haldir can undo massive genocide. Haldir can straighten leaning towers. Haldir is extremely polite. Haldir gives Chewbacca medals. Haldir protects cute baby animals. Haldir is obviously amazing. So tell me, oh mighty sea stand, what can Aristor do?
Combat, nothing. I lose all these cards.
What? Dude, that sucks! Haldir, the GOAT, the greatest of all time! Haldir, champion forever! Alright, here we go. The Treachery of Rhudaur. Side 1A, The Secrets of Rhudaur. We're going to set Thardir aside, out of play. We're going to put the 3 encounter side quests in play. We're going to add the Great Hall as the active location. We're going to find a copy of the Ancient Causeway and add that to the staging area. Side 1B, no quest points needed. Time 5. And then we cannot choose this quest to be the active quest. And when there are no time counters or no side quests in play, we will advance to stage 2. And when that last time counter goes off, we do have to discard any side quests that are still in play. There are the 3 side quests. We'll be looking at those in depth when we go into our first quest phase. All right, the Great Hall, it's a 4-threat, 8 progress ruins, and when it's explored, we got to discard the top 5 cards of the encounter deck, and then we choose an undead enemy we discarded to be added to the staging area. The Ancient Causeway will be in the staging area, 3 threat, 2 progress. When it's explored, we got to raise our threat by 2, but we do have some help. Amarthiel is here with us, so Marty is a 1/3/3/3 Dunedain Ranger Warrior, and then when an enemy engages a player, you can give control of Amarthiel to that player. So obviously he's just staying with me, but he's going to help me do some attacking. I also am playing with Grima, 9 threat, 2/1/2/3, lore, Rohan, Isengard. I can lower the cost of the next card I play from my hand this round by 1. That card gains Doomed 1. A little bit of resource acceleration is going to be needed for this deck to work right. Also, Spirit Frodo is back, 2/1/2/2, 7 threat, Hobbit. And then when Frodo is damaged, we can cancel that damage and raise our threat by the amount of damage canceled, limit once per phase. So that's 2 cards raising my threat. And we're also going to bring Aristor. That's right, Chris. Aristor is here. 10 threat, 2/2/2/4. He's a Noldor, and I draw 3 additional cards at the beginning of the resource phase, and then at the end of the round, I discard all the cards in my hand. That's why I want to be able to raise my threat to get a resource. It'll help me pay for these cards I'm drawing. I will be using the coin to mark which quest I am going against at the beginning of each quest phase. But before we get going, let's take a look at the first game I played with actual cards. I playtested this deck using dragon cards a few times, but holy cow, did my first playthrough not go well. Normally I was able to clear at least one of the side quests and did pretty well. Now the deck performed good. You can see all these cards I have in play. I just got enemy swarmed. I revealed a 4-threat location at the start of the game, which did not let me quest very well because I didn't draw my questers until late. And then it's just enemy after enemy after enemy, and you can see this is absolute chaos. I mean, what am I supposed to do against such reckless hate here? It was really bad. I actually thought I might be able to pull out of this nosedive because Frodo had a bunch of readies on him and Treebeard could ready. But in this combat phase, 2 of these enemies made additional attacks because I didn't have a clue. So going into the second stage without a clue is really bad for the shadows. And yeah, this combat phase went terrible. I lost. It was a very, very sound beating that this deck took once I advanced to the next stage. So you can definitely lose with this deck if you want to take it up against this quest, especially if the encounter deck does nothing to help you and it only throws enemies at you. So now let's go to the second game I played against this quest. Okay, so after that very humbling defeat, I'm going to take this quest on again with the same deck. I am looking for the Keys of Orthanc in my opening hand. I'm also looking for an Elven Jeweler or Protector of Lorien, ideally both, because you're going to start the game with Eristor. You get 10 cards you start the game with, so the more cards you can actually use, the better. So I'm really hoping that my opening hand will let me use a majority of the cards I draw. I do have 2 copies of Will of the West, so I will be able to shuffle my discard pile back into my deck. So even though I'm discarding all these cards, it's okay. Okay, so this is not a good hand at all. I drew my Dwarven Tomb, which I absolutely do not want to see in my opening hand. That's a card I want to draw later in the game, so I can replay a Spirit event that I discarded. And then you saw it was a bunch of lore allies, nothing to help me get rid of the cards that I'm drawing, so hopefully this next hand is going to be better. Okay, threat reduction. There's an Elven Jeweler, and there's the Keys of Orthanc. Okay, another Keys of Orthanc, expensive threat reduction, and a 2-cost quester. No lore cards, but I have to keep it. But I like seeing the Elven Jeweler, and I like seeing the Keys of Orthanc. So now we draw 3 additional cards at the beginning of our turn. So Treebeard, a Silver Harp. Oh, and another Elven Jeweler. Okay, this is really good. So I should be able to use a majority of my cards. That went really well. So let's play Daron's Runes, and we'll draw 2 cards. There's a Welling Hall Preserver and a Fast Hitch. Okay, so this should be good. I thought about what I'm going to do, and the card I'm going to get rid of is the Welling Hall Preserver. And then I'm going to play Keys of Orthanc. So when your threat is raised by the doomed keyword, the attached hero collects a resource. So that's going to go on Frodo. So I'm going to spend Eristor's resource to put the Keys of Orthanc on him. I should have spent Grima's to be more thematic. Okay, the Fast Hitch, I'm going to use Grima's ability. So I'm going to do Doomed 1 to reduce its cost. So it costs 0, and because I raised my threat from the doomed keyword, Keys of Orthanc trigger, and Frodo now has 2 spirit resources, and I can buy the Silver Harp. It's restricted, it's an item, it's an instrument, and after a card is discarded from your hand, you can exhaust the Silver Harp to return that card to your hand. So let's do that. Now the Elven Jeweler is going to come into play. She has an action. It's not a planning action. Discard 2 cards from your hand to put her into play. And she's a 1/1/1, 2 hit points. So I'm going to discard these 2 cards. And then I'm going to trigger the Silver Harp and pull one of those 2 cards back into my hand. And that's going to let me play my other Elven Jeweler, discarding that same card again, plus my second copy of the keys, leaving me with these 2 cards in my hand. That was really good. I had 10 cards, and now that I've played this Elrond's Council, I have pretty much used them all. So let's drop my threat by 3. Someone gets +1 willpower, and I do forget to say which quest I'm going against. I want to go against Quiet the Spirit. So I start to reveal the card, and then I back up. Okay. But let's look at these quests. So Quiet the Spirits, 16 progress. While Quiet the Spirits is the current quest, each undead enemy that enters play immediately engages the player with the highest threat. Enemies that engage a player from this effect contribute their threat to the total threat in the staging area until the end of the phase. Forced, after an enemy is destroyed, place 2 progress on Quiet the Spirits. We also might want to quest against Sift Through the Debris. It's 18 progress. While Sift Through the Debris is the current quest, each location in the staging area gets +1 threat. And then after a location is explored, we're going to place 2 progress on Sift Through the Debris. When this quest is defeated, flip it over. The quest I am not going to quest against is Decipher Ancient Text, because that makes all of my allies quest for 2 less willpower, and I do not have boosted heroes that can do tons of willpower questing, so that one's just not going to happen. But I could place progress on it by spending resources, but I know I'm not going to clear it. So quiet the spirit. So if I reveal an enemy, I have to put it engaged with me, and then its threat still counts against my questing. But I don't reveal an enemy. I reveal the Forbidden Descent. So that's a 2-threader, but it collects the first 2 progress I make every round of questing, and then if it ever gets cleared while it's in the staging area, I have to raise my threat. So I make 4 progress, 2 go on the Forbidden Descent and 2 go on the Great Hall. There's no combat, so we're just going to end the round. So everybody's going to ready. I raise my threat by 1, and then when I go to discard my hand, which is just Treebeard, I'm going to trigger the Silver Harp because that is now ready, and the Silver Harp is going to return Treebeard to my hand. All right, so let's collect resources, and we're going to draw 4 more cards. So we get some healing and readying with Lembas, another copy of Treebeard. Stand and Fight lets me pull allies out of my discard pile, and then Will of the West lets me shuffle my discard pile back into my deck. Okay, I definitely want to get Treebeard into play. So I'm going to use Grima's ability to make him only cost 3. And now it's a matter of deciding which 3 resources I want to spend. I know eventually I should be drawing a lot of Ents, and they cost lore. So I decide to just spend 1 of everybody's. And then because I used Doom, I can trigger the keys, and Frodo gets a resource back. So that's really good. Treebeard's exhausted. And then I have a lore resource for Lembas, which I will put on Aristor, so he can ready and heal now. And then I will keep Frodo's resource. There's no ally for me to pull back that costs 1 out of my discard pile. So I still have that Stand and Fight in my hand. I'm just double checking. If I had Henemarth, I could maybe pull him back, but I don't. I don't want to play Will of the West yet. I have a second copy if I decide I want to use it. All right, so we will now go into questing, and once again I will be choosing Quiet the Spirits as my quest. There is a treachery that would damage exhausted characters, which is why the 2 hit points on the Jewelers are nice. Frodo commits to the quest and then readies with his fast hitch. So we are sending 8 against 5. That's not great. And the card we get is Decrepit Remains. 1 threat. And it adds 2 progress to each side quest and location in the staging area. So I only make 2 progress, and they both get eaten up by that Forbidden Descent. So once again, no combat. So this is different than that first game where I just revealed enemies from the second turn on. But I am starting to get very much location locked. I'm going to use the Silver Harp after Aristor discards the rest of my hand to pull back the Stand and Fight. That seems like a good one. And then everyone gets money, and we remove the time counter. Treebeard gets a resource to help pay for Ents or to ready himself. And we get a Handmaiden. Hey, there's Henemarth. And there is another Ent, Quick Beam. Okay, that's great, because I drew 2 allies that each quest for 2. So we are definitely putting them into play. The Handmaiden comes in. She drops my threat by 1. So she's going to be questing for 2, but she only has 1 hit point, which is a shame. And then Quick Beam can come in. He costs 2 lore resources, and he comes in damaged if I want him ready. And then I still can put in Henemarth thanks to Grima's ability. So he will come in for 1 threat. He lets me peek at the top card of the encounter deck by exhausting. Because I used the Doomed keyword, Keys of Orthanc trigger, and Frodo has a resource, and I'm going to hold on to these 2 cards. All right. So if I exhaust Henemarth to take a peek at the top card of the encounter deck, I might lose him if it's that treachery that damages exhausted characters. So I'm going to hold off on using him, but I am going to quest with Treebeard, Quick Beam, the Handmaiden, the 2 Jewelers, Frodo, Aristor, and Grima. Pretty much everybody. Let's make some progress. Once again, Quiet the Spirits. And we do get a spirit. It's the Dead Lord, and he engages me, but this is the best time to have gotten him, because he says, after he engages you, put the top most undead enemy in the discard pile in play engaged with you. There is no enemies in the discard pile. Okay, so here you see me making a little bit of a mistake. I thought I cleared that Forbidden Descent, but I actually don't, because that Decrepit Ruins adds 2 progress to it. So that's actually an 8 progress location. So now I'm just going to back everything up. So I don't actually clear a location. I actually place 6 progress on that. And I still place 2 progress on the Great Hall. And you can see I forget to remove the 2 progress from the sift through the debris. I put that there because I thought I cleared a location. So I do remember later to remove it. Okay, combat. Finally we have combat. The Deadlord's attacking Frodo. Frodo's shadow says, if the defending player does not control 1 clue objective, treat this attack as undefended. That kind of stinks because now I have to raise my threat by 4. I was just planning on raising it by 2. A lot of undefended attacks in this quest, so you have to have a way to counter that if you're playing against it. That's why I wanted Spirit Frodo. And then I can attack for 3, which does 1 damage. So I decide to use Lembas to ready Aristor. Aristor's 2 attack kicks in, and I just kill that guy. I didn't want him hanging around. I don't need enemies clogging up my board state like they did that last game. So 2 progress goes on that side quest, and then Hennemarth is going to take a peek, and it's the deal 1 damage to each exhausted character. So that's why you use Hennemarth right before the end of the round. So he goes into the round ready, and he's not going to get hit by that treachery. So perfect use of Hennemarth there to see this incredibly nasty treachery. It also says you have to discard every exhausted attachment you control if your threat is 35 or higher. It's just a terrible treachery. It's just horrible. So at the end of the round, Silver Harp is going to pull that Stand and Fight back out of my discard pile from Aristor's effect. So I have Stand and Fight still in my hand. Everybody's ready. I got my money. My next 4 cards are another Elven Jeweler, the Light of Valinor, card draw, and another Silver Harp. Really, really good cards. Like, I was very excited when I saw all 4 of those, because those are all cards I would really like to see. So I'm going to spend 2 resources to give Frodo another harp. He's dual harping. And then they're restricted, so I can't place any more restricted attachments on him. Daron's Runes draws me my 3rd Treebeard and some more Lembas. I'm going to pull Treebeard back with that 2nd Silver Harp I just played. And now I need to decide what to do here. I would love to get that Elven Jeweler in. So what I'm going to do is Light of Valinor on Aristor, so now he doesn't exhaust a quest. I'm going to use Doomed 1 to pay for that, and then Frodo's going to grab a resource. So that was a free attachment. And then Elven Jeweler is going to come in. So I got lots of elves looking at jewelry in the quest. She's going to discard those 2 cards. And then finally, more Lembas on Aristor. He has 4 hit points, so he's most likely to get the most benefit out of that. And his stats are 2/2/2. So it's good to have your 2/2/2 character have abilities to be ready and not exhaust a quest. All right. Treebeard has 2 resources on him, so he can ready himself if I need to. And I know what I'm up against. I know I'm up against a treachery that's going to damage exhausted characters. My threat is not 35, so I don't have to worry about these exhausted attachments. And now I'm just trying to decide, do I want my Elven Jewelers to each take a damage? They have 2 hit points. I know I'm not going to quest with the Handmaiden. I'm okay with the 2 Ents getting some damage. And I'm actually okay with Grima getting some damage as well. So Frodo quested, but he's ready because he readied with Fast Hitch. And I can do all the math. We're going to go against Quiet the Spirits again. I'm going to deal the damage to everybody that's exhausted. And we're going to make some progress, but unfortunately, I am going to lose that Raise Your Threat if this location is explored in the staging area. So that gets explored. I have to raise my threat by 2. And then all the rest of the progress, which is 4 more, go on to the Great Hall and the Quiet the Spirits. So that was me like, hey, how'd this 2 progress get on? Sift through the debris, and I realized I hadn't ever cleared it. So sift through the debris gets 2 progress from clearing that location in the staging area. It's going to get 2 more from the Great Hall being explored. And the remaining 2 progress go on Quiet the Spirits. Okay, when the Great Hall is explored, I got to discard the top 5 cards, and then I can choose an enemy out of those 5 cards to put into the staging area. So that's not an enemy, that's not an enemy, that's not an enemy. I started to get hopeful, and then my hopes were crushed, and I did get Cursed Dead. He's so annoying. So when he's revealed, if there's any copies of him in your discard pile, they also get added to the staging area. So it's like, do you want to kill this guy or not? Because leaving them engaged with you means you don't have them in the discard pile. I was going to travel to the Ancient Causeway, then I changed my mind and travel to the, what's that one called? Decrepit Ruins, I think. All right, Frodo's going to defend. This guy attacks for 3, so he's no slouch. And then it's if it destroys a character, I got to raise my threat by the character that was destroyed's willpower. But all I have to do is raise my threat by 1, so I don't take a damage. And then Aristor and Amarthiel can kill it, and I just hope I don't reveal any more of those guys, because he'll come right back. And because I destroyed an enemy, 2 progress will go on Quiet the Spirits, putting me at 5 total. So before we go into the refresh phase, let's let Henemarth take a peek, and we get the Treacherous White. That's not good. So what I was hoping for is the ability to quest really hard this round and clear one of these encounter side quests, because there's a clue on the other side that I'd like to grab. But I'm going to have to see what I get for my next 4 cards. Maybe I can still do it, but when that guy engages me, he removes progress. He removes 2. So it's going to be really close. So let's see what I get here. Okay, another fast hitch, a Warden of Healing, which is really good. More healing and more healing. So lots of healing. No willpower boosting, though. So let's get a Warden in for sure, because I have a lot of damage on the board. So he's going to come in. And then Lembus is not limit 1 per character, and neither are fast hitches. Fast hitches also are not restricted. That's just a skill. So Frodo can ready twice now, and I might as well get this Lembus in. It's a good card to have, especially against this quest. You take a lot of undefended damage because enemies can make those undefended attacks. So I was going to put it on Grima, but then I decide it's just better to just put it on Aristor with his 4 hit points. He's more likely to take the maximum amount of undefended damage. So I'm going to use Doomed 1 to pay for that. And then I will hold on to this other Warden of Healing. Okay, so now I sit and think and think and think and do math and try to math it out. Is it possible for me to make enough progress to clear one of these? During testing of this deck, I always cleared at least 1, but I don't think I can because, well, let's do some math. So Quiet the Spirits takes 16 progress and I have 5. So if I choose that as my active quest, I have to engage that white, which will take 2 progress away. So now I only have 3 on there, meaning I need 13. There's going to be 5 threat I need to quest over, and 3 progress on the active location. So that eats up 8 willpower, and the most I can quest for, if I send everybody, is 18. So that means 10 progress gets placed to the 3 that was already on there, giving me 13. And if I kill that white, I only get to place 2 progress back, putting me at a total of 15, which is 1 short. If I go against Search the Debris, I have to add a threat to the staging area. So now I'm questing against 6. When I clear that location, I get to place 2 more progress. But that still doesn't work out because 18 minus 6 is 12. 3 progress needed to clear the location means I make 9 progress. 9 plus the 4 that are already on there is 13. 13 plus the 2 for clearing the location is 15. And I need to make a total of 18. So no matter what I do, I am like 1 or 2 progress short from clearing either of these things, which is a real bummer because that means I'm not going to get a clue. So after spending all that time trying to math it out, it doesn't matter what I quest against because I'm not going to clear anything. So I quest against Quiet the Spirits, which makes me engage that white, which removes 2 progress from each quest. And then I realize, oh yeah, I should probably actually commit characters to the quest so I don't raise my threat. So Frodo and Aristor and the Handmaiden, that almost gives me enough. I want to make sure I clear this active location, so I send a couple more willpower with the Jewelers to clear that location. This is all fine because I knew what I was revealing. I just did it out of order. So cleared the location, put 2 more progress on Sift Through the Debris. Let's travel to that Ancient Causeway. So I have a clear staging area, and now we're going to get attacked. I have plenty of characters ready to handle the attack since I didn't quest to hardly anybody, because once again, there was really no point. Treebeard will defend. It's the same card, and it says for each point of damage dealt to this character, remove progress from the quest. So I mean, I definitely was not going to clear anything. Treebeard does take 1 damage, and then ready characters kill that white, gives me another 2 progress. But unfortunately, we have officially ran out of time. So the Warden will do some healing real quick here. So I debate about who I'm going to heal. I was going to heal that Elven Jeweler, then I decide, no, I'll heal Treebeard, and I grab a blue token instead of a damage token. So that's going to confuse me later. And then Hennemarth takes a peek, but there really was no point because I forgot what happens at the end of the round here. All right, so everybody readies, and then, like I said, that Elven Jeweler should have a damage on her. I just get confused by that blue token that was supposed to be a damage token. I think, oh, that must have been Treebeard's resource that he was supposed to get this round. So for the rest of the game, that Elven Jeweler should have 1 damage on her. Not gonna matter. And then the time counters went off, so that means all the side quests leave. We did not get a clue, and then we are going to advance to Stage 2. So Stage 2 is Thardir's Pursuit, and this is when revealed, add Thardir to the staging area. Then each player searches the encounter discard pile and deck for an undead enemy and adds it to the staging area. I'm going to grab that Cursed Dead out of the discard pile, and then it also says shuffle the encounter deck. So I will have to give the encounter deck a shuffle. Okay, let's take a look at Thardir. Thardir is a 4/6/4/9 undead wraith. 1 engagement, so he's coming for us. And then he says indestructible, he cannot have attachments, and forced. After a treachery card with a sorcerer trait is revealed, he is going to heal 3 damage and make an immediate attack against the first player. So hopefully no sorcery treacheries get revealed from the encounter deck. Inside 2B, it's 30 quest points, but it gets -5 quest points for each clue objective attached to a character, which I have none, so I got to do all 30. And then this stage cannot be defeated while Thardir has any hit points remaining. If this stage is defeated, the players win the game. So in addition to not having any clues, which hurts me as far as shadow effects go, I also have to make the maximum amount of progress. All right, let's see what 4 cards I have this round, plus the Warden I saved. We got a Welling Hall Preserver, another Warden, a Good Meal, Protector of Lorien. So Protector of Lorien would have been great to have had last round because I think I could have made enough progress because you can discard cards to increase willpower or defense 3 times a phase. So I'm going to put that on Frodo. The Good Meal is going to go on Frodo. That's to help pay for Galadriel's Greeting if I get that combo to pull off. Treebeard's going to spend 2 of his resources, and Grima is going to use his ability to put in the Welling Hall Preserver. So he comes in exhausted, and when he readies, you can heal 1 point of damage on an end. So he's a great quester. I wish I could have got him in earlier in the game. And finally, in the planning phase, since I did raise my threat from the Doomed keyword, I will trigger the Keys of Orthanc and give Frodo his 5th resource. Let's use Hennemarth to take a peek. If I lose him, I lose him. Well, oh, okay. Well, I guess a Cursed Dead is what I was going to get no matter what. Alrighty, I'm pretty sure there's no more in the discard pile. Alright, well, I know I can't make 30 progress, so I'm just going to make enough to clear the active location. So I'm just going to send a few characters, including Aristor, and we're going to clear the active location. We're going to place 1 progress, and yes, there is no Cursed Dead in the discard pile. So I make 3 progress, 2 goes there. I have to raise my threat by 2. That's scary because I'm up to 41, but I should be able to draw more threat reduction. I definitely have more in the deck, and I really would like to draw some of my spirit characters. Frodo has a ton of resources. All right, 3 enemies attacking me, and Frodo can defend all 3. So what I'm going to do is discard a card to Protector of Lorien to give him +1 defense. And then I can trigger the Silver Harp and pull that card back. And then the Warden of Healing that I just pulled back, I can once again discard it to Protector of Lorien. Protector of Lorien says discard a card to increase your defense, limit 3 times per phase. So that works. You don't have to do it all at once. So Frodo defended for 4. I have to take 2 more threat so he doesn't die. And yeah, my threat is pretty high, but now I can defend these other guys. They're attacking for 3. I'm defending for 4. No shadow. And let's defend the final time. I didn't do my markers right, but we're okay there. And then this is, I either got to raise my threat by 3 or this attack is undefended. That's scary because I can't raise my threat by 3. I'll probably lose. So I'm going to put that 3 damage on Aristor. And that's why I gave him the Lembus, because he has 4 hit points. And I knew a lot of these enemies attack for 3, so he can eat 3 undefended damage. And Lembus will heal him, and he'll pop right back up. And we are going to try to kill some of these cursed dead. I think that's what I want to do. Or maybe I should just damage Thardir. I don't think I can get the 9 damage on him. I'm a little short. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, I'm 1 short because he takes 13 to give him his 9 damage. So I will attack for 12, though, and put 8 damage on him. Let's just try to dump the damage on him, and hopefully we can quest out of here in 2 more rounds. And now I have a decision. Do I want to ready Treebeard and take out one of these cursed dead? I think that's a good idea. The odds of me revealing one of the other 3 in the deck are, I guess that it's a pretty good possibility, but I'd like to at least get one of those guys out of there. So now the Welling Hall Preserver readies. He heals Treebeard. Got to remember to trigger the Warden before I readied everybody. So the Warden finishes up some healing. One of those jewelers should still be damaged, and all of Frodo's tower gets a bunch of tokens taken off. So Frodo is definitely doing what he's supposed to do in this deck. And then we will go into the next round. Looks like I forgot that I had that other Warden of Healing. I had laid it down, and I forgot it was right there. So I actually could have discarded it to that Protector of Lorien, and Frodo could have been defending for a little more. So now I'm not going to keep it, though. I'm going to plan on using my Silver Harps when it comes to defense. But I did draw 2 Elrond's Councils, so that's great. So let's play this Daron's Runes and see what I can pull with my next 2 cards. We get a Wandering Ent and my 3rd Fast Hitch. So Frodo's going to be able to defend 4 times if I need him to. So there's Treebeard's Resource. These are all great cards. I wish I could have got a couple of them when I needed to get that 1 clue. Dang it. Oh well. Alright, so Frodo, he's going to grab a Fast Hitch. That costs 1 lore resource. And then the Wandering Ent comes in exhausted. Grima has 2 resources, so he can pay for that. And then, yep, I forgot to discard a card to Daron's Rune, so that's me doing that. And then I think I will just pull that back with the Silver Harp. I want to have cards to discard to that Protector of Lorien. Now, let's drop my threat by 6 and give somebody +2 willpower. I should be able to quest for a decent amount and dump some progress on. I don't know why Henemarth is still exhausted. He shouldn't have been. Looks like I just forgot to remove his token. And the card we get, oh, it's a great one. So it makes everybody stronger, all the dead stronger, but it doesn't actually add any threat to the staging area. So every single point of willpower I send on the quest will be going through. And it's not an additional enemy. So I'm gonna send a lot because I only have to defend these 2 guys and then do 1 point of damage to Thardir, but I'm probably going to try to tack on an additional 3. So in case he heals, he still has the 9 damage on him. So now I'm just doing some math, seeing how much I want to send, making sure I have enough combat to do the damage I want to do. Let's not forget the +2 willpower from the Elrond's Councils. So my board is set. The pieces are moving. Frodo's built up. My threat is fine. There's no reason that I should not be able to win. Feeling pretty confident at this point. Okay, so now I have put 19 out of 30 progress. Each of these guys is hitting for 1 more. I am going to exhaust Frodo. Fast Hitch is going to ready him. There's me doing the tokens correctly. I'll discard 1 card to Protector of Lorien. I'll discard it again. So now Frodo is defending for 4. I can take all kinds of damage here. So 4 against 7, he gets +1. Okay, so it's 4 against 8, so I got to raise my threat by 4. No problem. And then I will take this attack, and it says +1, +2 if there's a copy of the defending character in the discard pile. There isn't. So Frodo, I'm just going to take the damage there. And then Frodo's going to ready, because you only can trigger Frodo's ability once. You only can raise your threat one time. All right, let's hit back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That will only give me 2 extra damage. That's 8, because Thardir has 5 defense. So I need to do one more. I need to do one more point of damage. So if he heals 3, I'm not needing to go into another combat. So I think I will have Aristor kick in his 2 attack, and that will give me the extra damage that I need. So now, even if he heals 3, he's still going to have 9 damage on him. And there's really no need to kill that cursed dead, because I'm planning on winning in the quest phase next round. So let's just go to the next round. All right, Treebeard has his second resource. Everyone's going to get a little bit of money. Frodo has a ton of it. My threat is at 42. 4 cards coming at me. We get another East Road Ranger, another Silver Harp, and Arwen. Now, I make a mistake here. I put the Silver Harp on Frodo just because I have the resources, but technically I can't. That's a 3rd restricted attachment. It doesn't get used, but it is a mistake. I shouldn't do that. That is a restricted attachment, and it only can go on a Spirit Hero. But Arwen is in play, and the East Road Rangers would have helped me in the earlier stage of the game much more than they help now, because they quest for 3 against side quests. Henemarth's going to take a peek, and it's going to get a Haunting Fog Sorcery Treachery, and when revealed, I got to attach it to the current quest. That quest gets +6 quest points. I also have to exhaust a character I control. That's absolutely fine. So I should have no problem here. It is going to make it so I have to make 6 more progress, but it's going to be okay. It's a sorcery, so Thardir is going to attack me, but I should be able to handle that attack. I'll just probably chump block it. And if we just quest hard, we'll win the game. So let's commit characters to the quest. Alrighty, so I'm sending 19 willpower. I'm going to be revealing 0 threat, so 19 plus 19 is 38, and I need to make 36, so I'm fine there. And then I have to exhaust somebody, so one of the jewelers will exhaust. There's me attaching that to the quest. Let's place the progress, and then we have an attack coming. Technically, the attack comes before I place the progress, but I don't think it's going to matter. So here comes the attack. He's going to heal 3 damage, but I had enough damage on him, so he still has 10. Elven Jeweler is going to chump. Attack enemy gets +1, +2 if there is a copy of the defending character in the discard pile. There is not. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. So she's dead, and Thardir has no more hit points remaining. I have placed the amount of progress I need. That's a victory. So we have defeated Treachery of Rhudaur, even while using Aristor. So I handicapped myself there, but we did it. So there you go, Chris. I used Aristor. Aren't you proud of me? All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that one. Take care. Bye-bye.